Law enforcement and government officials are shifting faces in regard to the April 15th Boston Marathon bombings. The initial hours following any incident like this are marked by reaction to events. Initial responders treat the wounded and medevac them to hospitals. People are moved and secured in safe areas. EOD teams hunt for more potential devices, and law enforcement immediately looks for potential suspects leaving the scene. At a higher level, the immediate airspace is cordoned off. Mass transportation hubs are locked down, and cities throughout the country go on heightened alert while national resources are lurched into motion. In other words, it is controlled chaos in an attempt to reestablish order and security. During this time, information is sketchy and often wrong. After this, we move to the next phase. This is where the basic facts, such as number of devices, exact casualties, and the full extent of the attack become known and well established. As of right now, we know that there were only 2 devices that detonated yesterday. From cursory video footage, it looks like they were relatively small. The explosive used created white smoke, indicating a low-grade explosive such as black powder that can be purchased, likely confined in something like a pipe bomb with shrapnel added to enhance the fragmentation effect. At this point, investigators are moving into full swing to gather every detail possible in order to fill out these basic facts with more color. The fact that there were no undetonated devices, as was initially reported, will mean that the investigation will have to rely more heavily on the forensics of the 2 bombs that did explode. The term that best describes this period is collection and reconstruction. Every detail or lead will be cataloged. Forensics teams will pore over the scene of the 2 explosions. Even when a bomb explodes, much of its physical material is still left over. From these pieces, investigators can gather what material was used to make the weapon. Fingerprint evidence on the fragments, traces of DNA and fiber evidence, identify components used to construct the device, and chemical composition of the explosive material. They can also determine what specific techniques the bomb maker used in constructing the device. All of this together is known as a bomb maker's signature. Outside of the device itself, investigators will be bringing together pictures and videos as well as eyewitness accounts of the incident. The center of a huge public event in the middle of a modern metropolis is blanketed with recording devices. Traffic, security, and ATM cameras, as well as smartphones and TV cameras, will cover nearly every angle and make it near impossible for a person moving through the area to avoid being observed. This will allow law enforcement to potentially get a physical description, establish how many actors were involved, and rebuild a timeline of events down to the second. On the other hand, there will be a mountain of evidence to comb through, and this can take an incredible amount of time and resources, unless the investigators can catch a lucky break. When all this is combined, a more accurate picture of the attack may be filled out. Although it is important to remember that despite shows like CSI, forensics is not always quick and easy. In some cases, like the 1996 Olympic Park bombing, an attack against a fairly similar target, it took additional attacks for the authorities to identify the perpetrator. This can be a slow process, but it is absolutely imperative that it is done cleanly and deliberately. Law enforcement can then start the next steps of identifying specific actors involved, motivations for this attack, and ultimate responsibility by a group or individual. Detailed, thorough work now builds the foundation for capture and prosecution.